Let's turn to Mr. Praful Ketkar, editor of Organizer, who's with us. Mr. Ketkar, a massive mandate one can see, and vote share wise also, the combined NDA vote share is close to 50%. How would you view this? What are your initial reaction?
See, Mark, this is unprecedented. See, when there was a up for 11% total vote percentage and women voters going up, that clearly shows that there is something happening on the ground. Perhaps nobody either working on the ground or exit polls could pick up. This was clearly, somewhere, visible, but still in a form of undercurrent, because women voters have played a very significant role in giving a mandate in favor of Prime Minister Modi and Nitish Kumar. EBCs, economically backward caste, economically backward classes, they have consolidated in favor of NDA. So what looks like, earlier was supposed to be a very thin majority, and next to next slide, what is looking clearly is RJD is almost retaining its vote share, but Congress is drastically going down. Last time what had happened, that, the two parties within NDA, that is JDU and Lok Janashakti Party of Mr. Chirag Paswan, they had a friendly fights in many places. And Chirag Paswan, in fact, was trying to challenge Mr. Nitish Kumar and JDU in many places. This time, the alliance has worked very closely, and it seems giving 29 seats to LJP has worked in favor of NDA, and vote transfer has clearly taken shape between the BJP, JDU and LJP.
Yes, Praful ji, what happens next in terms of the Deputy Chief Minister's position? You think that Chirag Paswan will also lay claim to a Deputy CM's position, even though he is a Union Minister, someone from his party, considering the performance this time around? Besides, of course, we know that the BJP would definitely have a couple of Deputy Chief Ministers, or at least one.
With this kind of mandate, he would definitely like to go for important portfolios or even a post of Deputy Chief Minister. But what, the messaging that was clear, Munmun, that he said, I'm a Hanuman of Prime Minister Modi. And I want to have a, balance between what I want to do in Bihar and what I want to do at the center level. And that has clearly worked. Because that time, when last time in 2020, he was actually trying to claim legacy of his father, Mr. Ramvilas Paswan, and he was in contest with his own uncle. And this time, it looks like, there is a clear-cut, hold over the legacy of Mr. Ramvilas Paswan, the Paswan vote share, and overall the Lok Janashakti Party's organizational framework. So he is much more confident, and therefore what we are seeing is officially now, he not just negotiated for seats. There were many seats which even BJP supporters talked about. Why we are giving so many seats to Chirag Paswan, but it has really worked well. Because 20 seats out of 29, and then what had happened last time, that JDU actually was pulled down thanks to Chirag's strategy. Right. That now has changed. That has drastically changed, and therefore I feel that with Prime Minister Modi and Nitish Kumar having better equations than last time, LJP on board, I think they will work out some formula to give seats. But definitely, I think he will claim for either important portfolios or maybe a post of Deputy Chief Minister.
Talking about poll strategy, Mr. Ketkar, one poll strategist had started his own party, the Jan Suraj party, How do you think, did he manage to change the narrative at least, even though they have drawn a blank, some sort of impact on the way people voted or had thought about voting?
Mark, I always feel that when it comes to the electoral politics in India, you require a combination of three strong factors. One is leadership, one is ideology, and the third one is organizational structure. Unfortunately, what has happened in last 15, 20 years, all the new parties that are emerging, including Aam Aadmi Party, they do not pay much attention to what organization means when it comes to the electoral politics. BJP, with combination of many other factors at the organizational level, the affiliated ideological parivar of BJP has got a strong bandwidth to mobilize people on the ground on various issues, including the national issues. While what Mr. Prashant Kishore tried to do, it has again showed that giving a consultancy to somebody to manage the election and contesting election yourself are two different ball games, and you require a different kind of machinery, different kind of organizational structure, and more important that the ideological clarity. Mr. Prashant Kishore was not sure where does he stand when it comes to the allegations of, say, vote chori? Where does he stand on the issue of, say, illegal immigration? Of course, he tried his best to mobilize the young voters on the issue of unemployment. But
Yes.
unemployment has been issue in India since independence in every election.
Right.
What is the ideological framework under which you are going to address that issue of unemployment? That was very unclear. Whether you are going to do that with the private investment, whether you are going to do that with the infrastructure creation. So that ideological clarity, I believe, was missing. And when it comes to the voters of Bihar, I think they will test him, at multiple levels even before giving him a chance, because
Okay.
Bihar voters are very, very sharp when it comes to, making their electoral choice.
Indeed. We are joined by our colleague Amit Mukherjee, who has been tracking the elections very closely. He's in the studio with us. Amit, so, when we look at a pro-incumbency vote, one wonders whether these issues like Mr. Ketkar was raising just now of unemployment that Prashant Kishore was trying to raise resonate at all. Law and order, unemployment. Because, I mean, you're, after all, voting for the same people. What does that imply?
See, Mark, when it comes to Bihar election, one thing was very clear. It's the NDA coalition that is going to come back to power. Now, the question was with how much, improvement will they come back to power? Because if you look at the opponents, the kind of tainted images which the RJD already has, people who have been under the RJD rule, 15, 20 years back, they know exactly what was not right in Bihar. The kind of social economic structure that was there, the extortions that were happening, the lack of employment, bringing down, Lalu always talked about social equality and all. So their strategy was to bring down everybody at a lower level. So that was the sort of a structure which the RJD regime sort of followed, and that's still fresh in the minds of, people of Bihar. And again, like our guest already pointed out, you cannot take the people of Bihar for granted as far as their understanding of politics is concerned. They are very, very clear in their mind, irrespective of the socio-economic strata. Even if a person comes from a very lower level of the society, he is very clear as to what his aspirations are, what is it that he is looking at. And of course, peace in the state, social security, these are two very, very important factors as far as Bihar is concerned. And clearly, RJD, that was the only rival as far as
Right.
BJP and the JDU alliance is concerned. So, I mean, in terms of credibility, the RJD was nowhere there. So, it was very clear that even before Bihar went to polls, it was very, very clear
Fair
that
analysis.
NDA would come back to power, but how much would the margin be? That was the whole issue. And also some of the promises which RJD made, before the public, it was absolutely it did not strike, any chord with them. They were pretty vague. They talked about giving
jobs. What about the jobs?
Giving jobs to
Government
every
jobs.
household. I mean, it's practically not possible. And like I said, Bihar people, you cannot fool them. They understand that. It's not possible in the current circumstances to provide jobs to every household in Bihar. And in fact, again, if you look at certain cases which are going on against the RJD leaders right now, I mean, the land for job scam is still afresh. I mean, it's an ongoing case where Lalu Prasad Yadav, when he was the railway minister, he had offered jobs to people of Bihar against land pattas. Basically, you have to surrender your land against which they were offering jobs. So those kind of things people are still aware of because these are all ongoing cases. So those things played a major role as far as deciding, which way the course of the elections would go.
Yes, right. So that was Amit talking about the various factors really that played